everybody. Cheryl and Lady coming to you from the Ladies Garden and Home. And today is April 30th, so that means supposedly it's my last frost date. And I thought this would be a really good opportunity to take you for a tour of the garden and update you on the seedlings and show you what I've been doing. It's the midpoint of spring and it is a wonderful time of year. So here's the mini greenhouse that I put up a couple of weeks ago. I put it up by myself. It was surprisingly easy, and it is rather lightweight. And over the last couple of, at least a week, maybe two, we've had very, very severe winds. Gusts 20, 25, since Easter. And so what I've done is I've strapped a bungee cord around it and then connected that to my sliding glass door. But here we have the tomato seedlings. I potted many of them up, which I showed you in another video. Here are my microgreens. I suppose I should start eating them. More tomatoes. These are the eggplants. The eggplants came out very nicely. In another video, one of the first seeds that I sowed, I only had 3 seeds left. So I sowed all 3 of them, and all 3 of them have grown very nicely. Some artichoke seedlings. Marigolds. More tomatoes. Some of the marigolds even have buds on them already. Hello. Nasturtium, zinnias, borage back there in the back, impatiens, more zinnias, more tomatoes, lots and lots of tomatoes, peppers, the different variety of peppers, more tomatoes. Here's a Solomon seal. As you can see, just noticed this now, but they're starting to get little flower buds. I got this plant last year at my garden club's flower sale. And here are the butterfly bushes. Here's my strawberry cart. And as you can see, I have tons of flowers. And I was really surprised that they would bloom this early. But look at that. Very exciting. The pollinators aren't around yet, although I did see some big bees today. I guess they're called bumblebees. So what I've been doing to make sure that they get pollinated is I've just been putting my finger into the flower, spreading the pollen around. You could use a paintbrush for this or a Q-tip, but that would mean I'd have to go find a Q-tip or a paintbrush, so I just do this. Okay. The blueberries. This is the powder blueberry, and this is the sunshine blueberry. This is the one that mostly did not come back, but as you can see, it's got some nice buds right there. And then this one is budding nicely too. And then we've got a big surprise. Ta-da! This is my green stalk. I purchased this myself. It was not given to me. After seeing lots and lots of reviews on YouTube on it, and quite honestly, I'd wanted one for about 2 years now, and finally they went on sale, and I got another discount coupon from one of the YouTube channels that I watch. So all in, I think this was probably a little over 120 bucks. I'm not sure. I'll check for you. But the thing that appealed to me about this was, number one, it was going to free up so much space in my beds. The other thing is that my back is not the best, and for me to harvest the leaves and bend over doing that every time I want to make a salad, sometimes my back is just hurting too bad, and I'll just walk by and say, oh, I'll do that another day. And anyway, the point of this was to put all of my leafy greens in here. I've got romaine, I've got arugula, I've got red leaf, I've got chard in here. I'm going to be putting some spinach in here, but the spinach seeds are still kind of tiny. And the way this works, it's pretty cool, is you fill up these trays with soil, and this is where you water from. You fill that up with water. The water drips down into these little dishes that are in the middle, and it waters the whole thing from the top down slowly. I will say that I needed a lot of extra watering when I first planted in here, because my soil was so dry, the potting mix that I used. So you have a little marigold in here. I'll be putting more flowers in here and other things in the empty pockets, but for now I wanted to make sure that I just got my leafy greens in. Here are the dill plants and the lemon balm that I had let overwinter inside. And as you can see, I've got some parsley growing in here. And I have these containers that I am going to be adding herbs to. And then these ones here probably be a mixture of herbs and flowers. Here we have the oregano. This has been in there, in that particular container, for at least 3 or 4 years, since before I moved in actually. So I trimmed back the dead wood. And before we go any further on the tour, I wanted to bring you up to date on my Single Seed Challenge 2022. Ta-da! Here is Mancini, the Pepperoncini. And as you can see, he's probably, oh geez, almost, I don't know, 8 inches tall. He's got a lot of new growth coming in here. And just as a refresher, the Single Seed Challenge is a challenge that's issued by Scott Head of the Black Gumbo Southern Gardener channel. And his challenge is for people to grow just one single seed of one thing and nurture it, kind of baby it from its germination all the way up to its complete life cycle. I chose the Pepperoncini pepper, and as you can see, he's doing very well, so I'm very happy. So I'm going to start over here with this bed. I had direct sown some peas, and they're coming up very nicely. This bed I'm going to be putting the eggplants in, and when I do, I will take out the big turnip over here, the big turnip plant. And then moving over here, this is the Asiatic lily. It's growing so well this year. It's got hopefully extra buds on it. Here's the overwintered chard. The larger ones are the ones that overwintered. And then I planted some more in there. This here is a coneflower that's coming back. Some garlic randomly placed there. Another coneflower, more chard. I planted the onions here, and underneath those wood stakes are the carrot seeds. They have not come up yet, but they generally take between 10 to 14 days. If you want to see that video on how I sowed them, I'll link it. Oh, we may have some sprouts. I say may because I'm not sure. Yeah, none over there. More garlic. And this row here is lavender, intermingled with some horrendous weed that is very, very difficult to get rid of. It's a job for another day. In this bed here, this is where I overwintered a bunch of vegetables, and the big ones, you can tell, are the ones that overwintered. Spinach, which is ready for the picking, I have to say. Onions, broccoli. This is the only broccoli that made it over the winter. Celery. That's done such a nice rebound since I first took the plastic off. I planted some spinach in here. This is, I believe, Bloomsdale. Yep, this is Bloomsdale spinach. And over here I planted more of the Bloomsdale spinach and the onions. So far I haven't seen any white butterflies yet this year. They leave their eggs on a lot of the brassicas, and then their larva destroys them. But as soon as I see any of them, I'm going to go ahead and put this cloth back on. Frost cloth it's called, but it's also bug cloth. Also can warm the soil a little bit, so it's good to use in the spring. Okay, if you remember from one of my latest videos, I had planted a whole bunch of cabbage in here. These are the Copenhagen cabbage that I had planted in here, and Lady, who's looking all innocent and nonchalant right now, dug up a huge portion of this bed after I had just planted it. I was able to unearth and rescue some of the cabbages, and since then I've planted peas in here, and I also transplanted. These larger ones are transplants from the seeds that I started earlier, I think back in February or March. In the garlic bed here, I had some holes, so this is where I decided to plant the beets. And I multi-sowed them, which simply means I put a bunch of seeds into one cell and I planted them out all together, as opposed to separating them. This, the red ones here are bull's blood beets. And over here are the Detroit red beets. What I also did is I put down all of this cardboard to suppress weeds. And what I will do soon, when I have some time, is I'm going to mulch over that with some coconut husk mulch that I found. Oh, wanted to show you this. I got a fire pit. Well, for two reasons, really. Well, for a couple of reasons. One is they're kind of cool to have. It's nice on a chilly evening to sit out by the fire. This is where I'm putting what I'm going to burn. The other reason is because I have not a lot of wood, but I do have a lot of woody material that takes a really long time to break down in a compost bin. So I'm going to burn it and then use it as potash. And I don't know if you see this lovely lady over here reading a book to a little girl. This was my Aunt Lucille's. Some of you know that my aunt passed away. It's a year ago in May. And my aunt was a school teacher, and she taught second grade. And I don't know, the statue just reminded me so much of when she used to read to me. She used to love to give me books, and she really inspired my love of reading. So over here is where I'm going to be putting grow bags of potatoes. I did not get to that this month, but that's something soon. Here is going to be the peppers. I just set it up so it's ready to go. Over here is where I planted this whole bed. Over here on this side is cauliflower. We've got some chamomile coming up over here. That reseeded from last year, or overwintered, I'm not sure. And then over here is broccoli. And it was a very dry couple of weeks, and these really desperately needed to be watered and checked on, so I removed the frost cloth for now. But again, wanting to keep the white butterflies away from them, I'm going to put the frost cloth back on. Bug cloth, shade cloth, whatever you want to call it. And here are the Brussels sprouts that overwintered. Now, I have to tell you that I was a little disappointed that they started going to seed and bolting. However, I was disappointed until I tasted the Brussels sprouts, as you can see over here. They kind of look like broccoli rabe, and I will tell you, they are way sweeter. They don't have that bitterness that a broccoli rabe does, and I've already made 2 meals from it. This week I harvested some and then chopped it up with some onions, some garlic, some olive oil, a little white wine, some asparagus, and sausage, nice Italian sausage, and it was delicious over pasta, I have to tell you. So good. This pansy overwintered, and now it's blooming so pretty. Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed my tour of the garden tonight and checking up on my seedlings and getting an update on how Mancini the Pepperoncini is doing. And as we end April and move into May, it's going to be a very busy but very exciting month. It's a month of a lot of transition. It's when we go from cool weather crops into our summer loving crops and start getting them into the ground. I hope you enjoyed this tour, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like, and I hope you subscribe and hit the alert bell. And if you got something out of this and you think a friend of yours might as well, please share it. From the Ladies Garden and Home, enjoy your gardening journey. Bye! Say goodbye, lady. Say goodbye.